Hi, my name is Nick Osborne, and today we're going to have a look at 3 ways to make more money as a freelance content writer. Now, all too often, writing content is a race to the bottom in terms of the money you can earn and the quality of the content you create. If you've been selling content writing services to your clients, this may not be news to you. With the arrival of sites like freelancer.com and places like that, companies can reach out and offer content projects to thousands or hundreds of thousands of writers. And what happens there is then you get, it becomes a buyer's market, which means they can offer less and less for the content. Also, a lot of those companies are not particularly fussed about the quality of their content. They just believe that volume is the name of the game. It's not. Quality is the name of the game. We'll touch on that as we move forward. But this happens a lot, and I know a lot of content writers who feel frustrated because when they talk to clients, they are offered terrible deadlines and terrible prices for their work. So if you want to be a content writer and you want to earn more money doing that, you've got to get around that problem. So step one in terms of making more money as a content writer is simply to specialize. And you can specialize in all kinds of different ways. And however you do it, the key here is you're setting yourself apart from the crowd, from that vast number of content writers who are willing to work for peanuts. Anyway, you can specialize by industry. You can specialize by medium, whether that means you're writing articles, or maybe you're writing scripts for videos, or maybe you're working with podcasts. There are different media out there for content. Or you can specialize by the type of content you create. Again, a lot of these companies reach out and say, oh, can you write me some blog posts? And a lot of content writers end up equating content with blog posts. And yes, blog posts are content, but they're not the only kind of content. And certainly not even the only type of kind of text content you'll find on a website. So you can actually specialize, and here are just a couple of examples of become a specialist in writing content that pre-sells. You can see from Bicycle Habitat here. This is a buyer's guide. It's actually, I've taken a screenshot just of the first screen there, but it's actually a very long article, very high value page. You can specialize in lead generation, that other example there. Get prepared for the business of law. This is put out by a law school. So there's a specialty. And a lot of content writers don't think in terms of specialty, in terms of the type of writing they can do. And there's more. You can specialize in content that attracts inbound links. You can become a search engine optimization content writer. You can specialize in creating content that is focused on engaging readers and building relationships. We mentioned the pre-selling with seasons and holidays. You can become a specialist in writing content that gets people warmed up for a major buying peaks like the Christmas season or Mother's Day, Father's Day, stuff like that. So that would be my first tip, is to say specialize in some way, get away from the crowd. My second tip is to optimize. So we just looked at those various ways you can specialize in terms of creating content that attracts inbound links or pre-sales. And once you've chosen it, and the example here I've picked is optimizing for social media, choosing social media, is then really, instead of just saying, oh, okay, I'm a social media content writer, say, look, I write content for social media, but I do more than that. I optimize content for social media. I have studied this. This is my specialty. This is what I work at. And so you create content that is very much positioned and refined and written and created so that it's more likely to be shared through social media. So I got 3 examples here. On the left, 6 sleep myths busted. People love finding about myth busting. On the right, Huffington Post, 14 stunning bridal shower favors. Now that's actually not a text heavy piece. That's a visual slideshow with a small amount of text. That could be a specialty in itself, those kind of slideshows. The one in the middle is from one of my own websites about coffee, where I created as an experiment. I wanted to do it myself. I wanted to optimize some content for social media. So I created a page called 5 Things You'd Never Expect to Find in a Cup of Coffee, which is kind of intriguing. And it has a number at the beginning, which seems to be fairly common in content that's optimized for social media. It seems that numbers are like kind of catnip for people when it comes to social media platforms. So absolutely, you can become a specialist in creating content for social media, and then you can learn how to optimize that content for social media. And now all of a sudden, you've increased your value as a content creator fairly dramatically. Step 3 is add value. You kind of got to up your game. So here's just an example of, you can offer content strategy services. Like I say, as far as clients are concerned, content writers are to a penny. They just go to freelancer.com and they can choose from 10,000 of them. So you really have to separate yourself out. And part of that is increasing the perception of your value. And a good way to do that, beyond specializing and optimizing, is to say, hey, I don't just write content. I can help you with your content marketing strategy. So as an example of that would be to help them develop an integrated content calendar. So on the right, I've just got a little screenshot there from an Excel spreadsheet showing how you might break out across a 6-month period with content optimized for the search engines, social media, inbound links, lead generation, audience engagement, pre-selling, and sales copy. As soon as you do this, you really are presenting yourself as a high value content creation partner. You're as a consultant as much as you are a writer. And this is, like I say, this is key in separating yourself out from the herd. And of course, you can begin to cross-sell your services, which not only increases the perception of your value, but also immediately increases your income. So let's say you've been writing content for them that you have optimized for social media. And these would be pages you've created for their website. It's a very, very small step to say, you know what? I'm creating the content. I'm a specialist in content for social media. Why don't I just take over and manage your social media channels as well? So now you become their social media specialist, as well as being their content creation specialist for them. And you can do that cross-selling in all kinds of ways. But you're only going to get there, you're only going to be credible with your cross-selling services once you've taken those first 3 steps. Just keep adding value. And as you add value, as you separate yourself further and further away from the crowd on freelancer.com, these moments will appear again and again, like where you say, hey, sounds great, I'll submit a revised estimate for that. And of course, that revised estimate is going to be a little bit higher than the one before. So, bottom line, creating web content can be highly profitable if you get away from the crowd. And if you specialize, you optimize, and you add value. If you want to dig really, really deep into optimizing content for the web rather than just being part of the crowd that creates content for the web, let me point you to my latest course, which is called Web Content Optimization. You can find out about that at nickosborne.com/optimization. It's just a short information page. And the course itself is fairly brief and very inexpensive. Okay, I hope you found that useful. Thank you.